I just want to, you to understand, but I need you all to drop those affirmations. I am a BYOB master trader. I am the signal. All my trades and in profit, I am 777. Now you can definitely add to that. Just do not take away from it. All right. Add to it. Just do not take away. And so once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Tasha M. Dyer, the Trade Whisperer. I am the creator of the BYOB Cash Out Strategy. And each and every last one of you all that are joining us here this evening. So, ha, 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 I love you say about Atlanta, by way of Jacksonville. You talking about, what's up, Duval? Now, see, I've been here long enough to hear that and to know that. You know, I'm from Louisiana, so of course, let me go ahead and put that out there. But yes, I've been here long enough to know exactly what that means. You're not gonna get me to scream it though. But with that being said, just welcome to the call this evening. Now, I don't know about you all, but add to those affirmations. There's Baton Rouge. There we go, Louisiana, since we want to do a shout out to where we're from. But what I want you all to do this evening as we get started here is I want you all to have a mindset shift, okay? Tonight, I want you all to have a mindset shift. So now tonight is training. It's training. So if we have a chance at the end of this call to talk about a trade, then I definitely will talk about it. But tonight is training. So it's definitely training. And so what I want to do is we have to put you all in that right mindset. But that's definitely a very good open up into what we're talking about. Okay. It's because the importance in the purpose of you becoming your own bank, for you to actually walk into the greatness of you actually becoming your own bank, you want to make sure that you are always in position mentally. And so how do you take profit? How are you in the market? How are you doing those things? So tonight, one of the things I want to gear up for is because we take a lot of 777s. You know, I'm definitely excited for the amount of 777s that we drop in the chat. So let me go ahead, let me find out who's on the call before I continue. So if this is your first time on the line this evening with us for BYOB Market Talks, let me get a 111 in the chat. And if you are still learning how to cash out, let me get a 222. Awesome. Look at there. Okay. Welcome. It's plenty of you all that are new here with us for the first time. Let me officially welcome you all to tonight's call. And let me give some clarity and understanding what Be Your Own Bank is, exactly what we do and why this is important and how we break these calls down. So Be Your Own Bank is the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. That is who we are. Now, that's the BYOB movement itself. The BYOB cash out strategy is a strategy that I created. That's the strategy that we trade. And so the Telegram group, of course, is where we all are talking about the strategy. Now, and there's a lot of 777s in the chat. Now, for the reason why we drop a 777 in the chat is because from a mental standpoint, you know, we're cashing out. And that 777 is us declaring and decreeing profit and prosperity and wealth and everything over our accounts. That's what that 777 is. And so tonight, what I want to do is I want to make sure I'm going to kind of, you know, reiterate a little bit of what we talked about, probably the week before last, but I definitely also want to make sure that you are walking in the understanding of what we were called, you know, like understanding how to take profit and what to do with that profit, because I can take a lot of profit. I can take 777s, but first and foremost, am I compounding them? Am I walking through that? So of course I have the compounding sheet for us to look at again, but I want to iterate a training plan because I think, and I know for a fact, along with myself and the visionary, and of course, Dr. Bythua, one of the, you know, we know for a fact that you all have been in some significant profit. I mean, we see testimonies. I left my job. We did so much. We have an 11-year-old that's cashing out with us. And you know, yes, my daughter, the youngest that I know that's actually trading with us, she actually understands what to do in the market. But at the same time, you know, 11 is in his real account. And that's why I reference him. That's why I've been referencing him, because he's in that account and he's taking profit. But I want us to do something greater, because everything, this is going to come with some discipline. And right now, what we're doing is gearing up for your mindset shift. And we're gearing up for you to take control and to elevate to that next dimension. And that's the conversation we're going to have tonight. So I want to talk to you about your trading plan. You know, I definitely want to talk to you all about your trading plan, you know, so you can be effective, you can be efficient. We're going to talk about the strategy itself. We're going to talk about the BYOB cash out strategy, but at the same time, we're going to talk about your trading plan. And so tonight, if you have questions while we're going through this, if you have any questions, I want you to drop it in the chat. I want you to drop it in the chat. And so I'm going to do it a little bit. I'm going to start here, but before I go over the strategy, there are some things that I want to highlight, because now your trading plan, I want to highlight, and I want you to understand that your trading plan is your trading plan. That's your trading plan. This is where you make a decision, how you trade, what is important to you. And where it has to start was understanding your compelling why. What is it? Why are you here? What is it that you desire to achieve? So you're here for a reason. You made a decision to become your own bank. We say BYOB challenge. So you actually made a decision to accept the challenge. Why did you make that decision to accept the challenge? What is it that you're looking to accomplish? And that has to be what drives you in order to obtain the things that we're saying and we're covering the conversation about, because this is a skill set to be learned. And so we're not a signals group. You notice that's not what we are, and that's not what we do. And we also don't sit there and call trades in the morning. So yes, the evening calls, we educate. The morning calls, we help you navigate the markets. And so what it does is it empowers you. It helps you get more comfortable with the market. It helps you see the trades more clearly. But in order to obtain that and absorb that skill set, in order to absorb the things that you're looking for and you desire, you really have to make a decision that as to what is your why, what is your mindset. And that's why we begin with those affirmations. So you accepted the challenge to be your own bank. So go ahead, let me get a 555 in the chat. You made the decision, you accepted the challenge to be your own bank. And just drop a 555 in the chat that you actually made that decision, that you want to be your own bank. And so when you understand that and you've made that decision, and now this is where your trading plan begins. This is where, so when we think trading plan, I want you to understand it's really not that complicated. It's not that complex. It's just a set of guidelines that you're setting for yourself. I love it. Keep dropping those 555s. It's a set of guidelines that you've made for yourself. Is it a decision that you made for yourself of what you want to accomplish? And then number two is a strategy. You can't be bouncing around. Like, you want to make sure, so I understand why I'm here. I'm doing my affirmations. I have my mindset. And then, of course, there's a strategy. And this is the BYOB cash out strategy you're looking at right now. So are we going to trade the BYOB cash out strategy? Are we going to follow the rules? Are we going to implement it? Or are you attempting to shift it and change it, or, do things your own way? What is it that you're going to do? Are you going to stick to that? Now, also understanding the rules. I mean, something that's simple. Blue line cross over the red and the downward momentum. You have a red candle with a flat top, PSR flip to the top. And then we'll go over this a little bit more detail. Right now, I just want to kind of highlight, I definitely want to highlight what I'm sharing with you right now. The blue line cross over the red and an upward momentum. That green candle with a flat bottom and that PSR flip to the top. So I definitely want to, make sure that you are definitely committed to yourself, that you're definitely committed to the process. And so just think about it this morning, for example, when we're talking about the strategy. Now, I did restart my computer, so I definitely don't have that markup still here, but I want you to think about something. This is, I want you to be in position. And this morning, I think I said, I want you to trade like you're a robot, where you're not trading with your emotions. That means, of course, we still trying to understand and ride the wave, but you understand that, okay, if I'm looking at this, then I'm looking at this blue line cross over the red. Did I have confluence on a higher time frame? Did I have confluence, when I check my charts on the other time frame? Was it there? Are you okay that, remember I told you it lowers to a 50-50 chance. So if that trade actually plays out, if it plays out the way that, we didn't take the trade, and you see on here, I'll tell you, I'm not taking the trade. you know, and then I'll look and I'll see some 777s. But that might be your trading plan. You might, I'll say, hey, I only want 2 confirmations and I'm okay with 50-50. You know, for me, I want 3 confirmations and I want to make sure that I stay above 92%. So where is it that, where is it that you are? Where is it that you sit? As far as, so when you create your trading plan, there is no deviation from the rules. There is no deviation, from the understanding of what we said. Blue line cross over the red, green candle flat bottom, PSR flip, check my time frame confluence. Oh wait, I don't trade consolidation. Or, so those sorts of things, those are the types of things that you want to make sure you trade. And then, so I'm just giving you some good ideas as far as creating a trading plan. I'm just giving you some things that can help you move forward, because we're kicking the door in with 2021. So 2020 has showed us that we have to create our value, that we have to be intentional about what we do. And so if I'm going to trade, if I'm going to be in the market, then I'm going to be intentional about what I do. I'm going to be intentional. We will study so hard for a job. We will make sure we learn the craft and execute in excellence on someone else's job. But then you get in a trade and you take chances, or you get in the trades and you look at this and you're like, well, I think the PSR is going to flip. Well, I think this is about to happen. Well, I think that's going to happen. Well, that's not, you get fired from your job if you did that. So we don't do it. But we know that can also execute and it can end up in a stop loss. So we also don't want to operate from that thought process. We don't want to operate from that mentality. We want to make sure that we're operating from the standpoint and the understanding that this is 3 indicators. This is what I'm using. This is how I'm manifesting. Also, what do we tell you? You want to learn market structure. So are you committed also to educating yourself? Are you committed to getting into the academy, getting onto the YouTube videos and just elevating your education and your excellence, each day for yourself? If you put on your trading plan that once a week, now of course it's based on your schedule, but maybe once a week I need to watch a video. Maybe once a day I need to watch a video. It's plenty out there, but what is it that I need to do to educate myself and take control of what I want to accomplish? Or do I make phone calls and ask somebody else or do I actually get in there and learn and hone in on my skill craft? So these are things that you can put, on your trading plan. And then also, when we look at it, so am I strictly taking the trades? Like if I look over here, am I strictly taking the trades that come with the vibrata? Do I want to trade on a 1 hour? Do I want to trade over here? How is it and what is it that I want to trade? So I'm actually challenging all of you all to write out a trading plan. I'm actually challenging all of you all to write out a trading plan so you can take this seriously, because this is how you obtain the wealth and freedom that you desire. So am I going to look at, so if I come over here and I go to im.center, right? And I come here and I look there, and I come into im.center, one of the things, now you notice why, now I've taught on these different strategies, okay? I've taught on these things, like we've gone over so much that's over here. We've done the gold cup, as far as we've done it. We've looked at pivots, we've looked at we've looked at the vibrata on here. That's what we use all the time. We've looked at the DeLorean. But what is it that we do consistently that consistently has you in profit? So, and we come to these, we use them, we train on, but you have to make a decision. Which one is it that you want to utilize? So one of the ones that we start with, because we believe that this helps you see the market a little clearer. It helps you see things that are actually manifested in the market. So when we're talking about a trading plan, so this is going to help you learn how to trade on the higher time frames, where for my scalpers, all you have to do is 5 minutes is yours, 15 minutes is yours. So what is it that you desire? So do I come here on an hour and bring it back over here? That's what you want to be able to do. That's part of your trading plan. So, but as I learn the market, as I learn the higher time frames, we go to the harmonic scanner, and now you see why each morning we have one pull. Now you understand why each morning we have a harmonic scanner trade and we analyze it and we look at it, because it's about developing your skill set, showing you how to navigate the markets and put yourself in freedom. So what type of trader are you? These are things that you need to know. What type of trader are you? So am I a scalper? So is my Scalpers Anonymous club on here tonight? So are you a scalper? Are you a scalper? So if you're a scalper, then own it. Be proud of it, you know? So acknowledge the fact that you're a scalper. So if you know that you're a scalper, then your trading plan is not to start trading on the hour. Your trading plan is not to, you know, be on the 4 hour in the daily trying to scalp. Then you know where you want to understand what the market's doing, but you also know who you are. Look at all my scalpers coming out of the woodwork. But if I know that I am an intraday and a swing trader, then you have to understand your, you know, you want to understand your skill set and you want to understand where you are. So that means that if I know I'm on an hour, then what I want to do is I want to begin to focus and look at what's happening on those higher time frames, using a harmonic scanner, bringing this back, you know, understanding what's happening. And then when I do drop down, like we do on the calls in the morning, when you do drop down, then you know that you're using it for a tighter entry, or you're doing that top down approach where I'm starting on the hour and then I can kind of bring that down. And if I come, like, let's say here, and if I look right here, and actually I'm gonna twist this one around for you guys. I know I'm giving you a lot of information, but I'm just trying, I really want to just bring some clarity to you. So even like, let's say if I'm here on the higher time frame, because I've analyzed it, that means that when I drop down, I know that that's a tighter entry. So while my scalpers are saying 777, 777, 777, you're not operating in fear of loss because you know what your trade plan says. Your trading plan says that I'm an intraday trader. Your trading plan says that I'm a scalper. I mean, not a scalper, but I'm an intraday. I'm a swing trader. And so when I drop down to the 15, it's for that tighter entry. When I drop down to the 15, I know that I can trade to this first, you know, I can trade to that first support and resistance line, but I'm looking for that manifestation of that longer trade. So do you trade higher time and come back down? What do I mean when I say higher time frame? Absolutely. What that means is you can trade on a 15-minute chart, or you can trade on an hour chart, you can trade on a 4 hour, you can trade on a daily, you could trade on a weekly. So when I say higher time frame, that means that you'll begin your analysis on that time frame. You know, you're actually, like if I'm on a 15-minute chart, for example, then I'm going to analyze here on the 15-minute chart. That means that I'm looking for that blue line cross over the red. I'm looking for that green candle with a flat top. We got a lot of consolidation over here. Let's come back over here. So that means that I'm looking for that blue line cross over the red and that upward momentum on the 15-minute chart. That means that I'm looking for that green candle with a flat bottom on the 15-minute chart. That means that I'm looking for the peace order flip on the 15-minute chart. So that's when you understand what type of trader you are. And so so for example, I don't have a flat bottom tail over here. So if I know I'm only doing 10 pips and cash out, then I cash out there. I know I can trade to my support and resistance line. So this is what I mean by 15-minute. Now, higher time frame, that means I want to trade on the hour. You notice that when I come here to the hour, that means that this is where the strategy aligns. So if I'm on an hour, I'm not a scalper. If I'm on an hour, I'm not a scalper. That means I'm looking at intraday, I'm trading zone to zone. Are you just gonna go from zone to zone, right? Do I trade from zone to zone? Do I try to analyze it like that? You know, how do I trade? Do I go from zone to zone where I'm looking at support and resistance lines, where it comes up, you see that blue line cross over the red? And of course, that's when we're using a lot of things that come from the vibrata, and because these triggers will happen in those zones. So that means that, for example, I think I only had 1 or 2 people when we pointed out a trade this morning, they understood that this was a continuation, that when this triggered here, that this trade actually started back here somewhere. And so this was actual continuation, because when you focus on what you're doing based on your personality and you're not all over the place, because it's in your trading journal, it's in your trading plan. I keep saying journal because I'm gonna talk about it, but because it's in your trading plan, then what that means is it's in your trading plan. And so that means that I know, because I've been focusing on that part of the skill set and it's going to develop, then I know that this would have been, this trigger right here would have been a continuation trade. It would have been for me to keep going. And so you understand. So that's what I mean by trading on a higher time frame. That means that I needed to align on a higher time frame. You even have some people, I mean, I can unclick all of this, and I mean, we don't have any right now, but we've had them on a 4 hour and a daily that showed up on here. Now, that means that I'm actually trading on that higher time frame. So all that means is I'm coming to the next time frame, because that's where I want to begin my trading from. So that's what I mean by that. So what style and what type of trader are you? And what are you going to focus on? And so if that's in your trading plan and you follow your trading plan, then you'll have more profit. You know, you'll have more profit. Perfect practice makes profit. Let me say it that way, because I was saying perfect practice makes perfect, but perfect practice makes more profit as well, because you're honing in on your skill set. And so you're definitely doing that. And then also, we focus a lot on where to enter the trade. All right. We focus a lot on where to enter the trade. That's what we do. We focus a whole lot on where to enter the trade. But do you think about where you need to exit the trade as well? So let's talk about that for just a moment. All right. Let's talk about that for just a moment. Now, when we talk about it, we enter blue line, cross over the red, get into the trade, you know, flat top, flat bottom, PSR flip, bam. I actually did market execution. But what about how do you exit? Now, why is that important? Because I know when I started trading, I did not have a trading plan. And one of the things that I did was blue close, blue close, blue close. And we'll joke about that on here a lot. And you guys are, oh my gosh, and you start spazzing out, or you see the pullback happening and you want to put, you know, you want to close out your trade. But are you over leveraging? Are you using proper risk management? Think about this for just a minute. So we talk about it now, we don't focus on it, but there's a reality of an 8%. So if we say 92% accuracy rate, that means that there's an 8% that's not accurate. That means that there's an 8% of actual stop losses. And when you manage your account and you look at your account from the big time frame and the big grand scheme of things, then that 8% should not bother you, because 92% is obviously greater. So if I know that, where do I exit? So one thing that we want to do, like we talked about earlier on one of the harmonic patterns, is I restarted my computer, so I don't have it for you, but I want you to think about this for a minute. I'm gonna just use this. So normally we can have it, like if we're pulling from the harmonic scanner, we can have it where it might say that your take profit is here. This is why I always tell you, please, 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 please learn your support and resistance lines. They are your lifeline. So as I look at this, and you can see that you can definitely see where this is touching on these take profits, it's always not that clear. I never want anyone to ever be in a position where you say, you know what, I missed that take profit by a pip. I missed it by 3 pips. We should never be there. And so one of the things I want you to understand is being able to utilize this line chart. I use this line chart, that's the closing price. I can actually pull this down to here, and I can see where these touches and these taps are. I can see where all of this is. So if I understand and you see where all of these touches and where all of these taps are, then what does that mean? That means that that's the closing price. So I know it's going to go there. So understand that I might be in a little zone right here, but if I'm buying, right, we're focused on how do we close. Have you ever focused on where do you close a trade? Have you ever really thought about where to close the trade? So if my take profit needs to be here, if I'm selling, I might go to the top of the zone where my take profit would be here, because we never want to miss it. Also, if I say I'm going for 10 pips, then I need to look at it and focus on learning how to analyze the charts and get my 10 pips. I do not need to, I do not need to just take a trade and I see it in a pullback and I spaz out, or I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? You say that's what you needed to hear. Thank you for discussing the 8% and when to get out. It was that area I needed clarity and I was making mistakes. Oh, you are so welcome. You are so welcome. And so I'm glad to hear that, because I don't want you in a position where you spaz out and now you want to close it. Now you want to just jump out of a trade. And here's a perfect, look right here. Look at this example. Look where this one is. You see where it's tapping right here. So you would say 10 pips. Yes, the yellow lines are the support and resistance lines. So we say 10 pips and we want to cash out. So if I come to right here and I come down here, then I know I need to move it up, because where would my line chart be? My line chart right here. So I know that I want to move it up. I want to move this up because I'm going for a sale. So if I'm going for a sale, then I want it to be closer to the top of that zone, because there's no definitive line in the market. There's absolutely no definitive line in the market. And I really want you all to understand that. Absolutely no definitive line. And so there's always a zone. The zone is smaller if I start from the 15, but if I'm on a monthly, we saw what we did it there, and the zone was huge, you know, when we brought it back down. And so as far as support and resistance lines, now this is right here is a support, right here is a resistance. But on this one, when it's up here, it's a support. And so just kind of think about it and understand it from there. So the support and resistance lines are actually the same lines. They're the exact same lines. So it's just how are you approaching it? Am I approaching it from a buy, or am I approaching it from a sell? If I'm approaching it from a sell, then it's a support. That means I'm sitting on it. If I'm approaching it from a buy, that means that I'm pushing against it. So that's it, but they're the exact same lines. And so yes, I typically make them yellow. So normally if you see me mark up a chart, they'll typically be yellow. That's just the color I selected, and that's what I go with. So but you can make it whatever color you want it to be. But yes, that's exactly what they are. And so you want to kind of focus in on that. So you need to know in your trading plan, am I getting 5 pips? Am I getting 10 pips? Am I going to trade to the support and resistance line? But you never want to spaz out, because we're using proper risk management, right? We're using proper risk management. Yes, it's reversed on either side. So you normally on the calls, think about when you hear me say the support resistance line, because they are the same thing. So you will sometimes see, you'll just see SR, support resistance. See, I mean, some people even put the trend with it, but it's the support resistance line. So right here, because think about it from the right here, this line right here, this is one line. There's one line. Let me thicken this up. That one line, and I'm gonna change this color. I'm gonna just go ahead and change the color. That one line right here, and with this part, as this was drawing down, right here, it is now a support line. It is a support line right there. Right here, this exact same line, when this came back and it pushed up against it, right there, it is now a resistance line. But it's the same line. It's really just how is it approaching. Is how is the approach. So, but it's the same line that divides and causes that separation. That's what that is. And so any more questions or comments on that before? Because tonight we're talking about your trade plan, but of course I want to answer questions. I just want to make sure we get your questions answered. So it's very, very important for you to understand that. So something else. So I want you all to really think about when to exit a trade. Do not allow your emotions in the way. If you trust your analyzation, it should be easy to trust your take profit. Make sure you're putting a take profit and a stop loss in. That's part of your trade plan. There's so many things that can be in there, because I can tell you how to enter, how to exit. Because if I'm just sitting there and I'm just watching, the trade run away, that trade can turn around. That trade, it definitely can, it can go whatever direction that it wants to, and that trade can definitely do that. So let me go to the higher time frame and let me really show you and break this down. And so here I am on the hour, and I want you to look at this. So let's say you saw this and you were taking this trade, and you were taking a sell right here. I was going to take a sell because I got a trigger, and we didn't analyze it like we're supposed to, because you notice that once again, this is a support and resistance line down here, but you notice I didn't put the whole thing because I want you to focus in right here. So for example, if I operate without support and resistance, without take profit and stop loss. So right here, you notice that, look right here. You see that? So this would have triggered something here. It definitely would have triggered something in the vibrato. It would have triggered it. However, the trade turned around. You don't have a stop loss in, right? You don't have a stop loss in. So guess what? But you're sitting there thinking, oh, the trade's going to turn around. It's going to turn around. Instead of allowing this to be your, instead of allowing this to be your 8% within your risk management, you keep watching it. And I'm gonna tell you what emotions does. Emotions don't allow you to push the button to close that trade and manually stop it. Emotions don't do that. You wait for it to kick you out of the market. You wait for your broker to tell you enough is enough. And so you'll sit there and watch that trade reverse from here and come all the way back up here. Okay, let me come back. Let me do this. I want to make sure I can grab and count these pips. So now look at that. You are 184 pips in the hole if you're still in it. 184 pips in the hole if you are still in it. So now with that right there, so when I'm looking at that now, would you have rather taken a stop loss that you set, you know, above the P? Would you have rather done that than take 184 pip stop or stop out where your broker kicked you out? Your support and resistance lines. Now you want to talk about not managing your account or building your account properly or correctly. This definitely will make that shift. So when all the indicators of the strategy align, but your candle is near a support and resistance line, what should one do? Wait for it to break the line. I'll come back to the direct strategy questions when I come back to explain the strategy. So, you know, I'll come back to those because I want to kind of stay focused on the trade plan. But I do understand your question, but I'll come back to that when we do the actual strategy, talking about the strategy. And you say you've been kicked out and lost. This is so important. Absolutely. That stop loss is important. When we tell you that stop loss goes above the PSR or below it, or even understanding that you wouldn't have taken a trade right here. We would not have gotten into a trade right here. It is absolutely no way, but it happens because now the vibrato will trigger it here. So you need to understand when to enter. You need to understand when to exit. You need to understand when to enter and when to exit, because the vibrato will trigger it here. It will trigger it here. It will trigger it here, and it will trigger it here. And all of these are valid trades. I guess I can kind of come back to that right now. So you think about it, all of these are valid trades. They're valid trades. They're valid trades. They're valid triggers. Let me say triggers. That's a valid trigger, and it's a valid trade. It's a valid trigger, and it's a valid trade. It's a valid trigger, and it's a valid trade. This is a valid trigger, but it's not a valid trade. See the difference? This is why you have to analyze it, because a vibrato is going to catch all of this. It's going to identify all of this. And so all of that is important. And so when you ask the indicators align, but your candle is near a support and resistance line, now understand that if I'm on the 15-minute chart, if I am on the 15-minute chart, then on the 15-minute chart, okay, I can do 10 pips and cash out or trade to that first support or that first resistance line. That's it. All right. So you are definitely focused on that, but I want you all to definitely begin to understand your support and resistance lines. I think that should be a part of your trading plan, understanding that, but your support and resistance lines. And because that's understanding strategy, that's understanding market structure. So when I say that should be, that doesn't mean like you have a trade plan that's like 30 different things. That's part of market structure and understanding market. So that's something that's part of that educating yourself and learning a skill set. But if I don't understand support and resistance lines, then I'm not up here on the hour. You're not trading on the hour, because there's no such thing as 10 pips and cash out on the hour. You have to understand your support and resistance lines. So yes, you have to wait for that correction. That goes to strategy specific. If I know, now if I'm already riding a trade, then I can use a trailing stop loss or something like that. I can just put my trade here. There are so many different answers to that. So you can use a trailing stop loss. There's so many different things that you can do, but you definitely want to focus and hone in on that. So let me keep going. Also, trading, understanding things that you want to trade, understanding things that we need to trade, trading. So when you think about that, think about it from that perspective, trading, all right? So we talk about NFP all the time. Let me just use that one as an example. We talk about non-farm payroll. If you've never traded an indice, if you've never traded, some of the things, if you've never set, then NFP, it should not be a part of your trade plan. Then it's okay not to jump in a trade. I think since we've been doing this, we've only had one NFP, one NFP that we actually traded together because they changed the date from Friday because of a holiday. So while it sounds good, get it, put that as part of your education, that you advance your skill set and you begin to trade new things. Make it a part of your education, but do not jump in your live account trying to trade NFP. It shouldn't be a part of your official trade plan if you've never traded it before. Make it a part of your education so you can add to it. Remember, your trade plan is not something that's just set in stone to where you'll never come back and touch it again. That trade plan is something that you develop, that thought process and that mentality and everything that you actually develop over time. And then you want to, let's talk about some risk management and document your trades. I'm going to talk about this, and then we're going to come back to, the actual strategy. So now think about this for just a moment. Think about this. So think about this for just a moment. When I'm looking at this and I think about it, I want your risk management. I want you to have some short-term and long-term. So let me go ahead and let me see here. I'm going to share this. I'm going to change my screen share for just a minute because we've talked about this. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on here this evening. It's either last Tuesday or the Tuesday before. All right. Now, when you understand risk management, we understand risk management right here, where you literally, you see, I start my account balance with $500, whatever it is that you do, whatever I can, let me just put 100 on here. We're going to focus on 100 tonight. Let's focus on 100. So I put $100 on here. And when I do that, my personal risk, my trade plan, and I'm not saying this is what mine is, but no one should be able to force you or make you feel like you're not trading enough, or you've heard me say it to some individuals, you need to increase your lot size. You need to do this. And when I say that, I want you to understand, I'm talking about here. Because you need to understand your growth percentage. Are you a risk taker? Think about financial advisor. You sit down with me in the past, I'm going to ask you, what is your personal risk management? I'm going to ask you, what is your risk? There's a series of questions that I had to ask you in order to come up with your risk percentage for your retirement of your investments. And whether you understand it to that magnitude or not, as far as the information that you're providing when you get asked certain questions, but that was actually in a book that we will have to go through as we geared up and laid out your retirement plan, to where I'm not the one that selected it for you. So once again, I can't tell you what your risk growth should be. Down you can, and you can see it, as opposed to just blindly trusting someone with your future. Now you see the numbers, you have the numbers, you have the information. So here it is. So right here, whether it was 1%, if you're not a risk taker, then guess what? Don't be a risk taker. You can do 1%, and that's okay. Just understand. And this is why we started. So this is what I mean by your risk management. All right. This is what that means. And so do not be concerned with what someone else is doing. Do not be concerned. Somebody might come here and tell you, oh, I'm at 10%. I do 10%. Well, hallelujah. I salute you. Praise God. I pray, just praise God, and I thank him for your increase. But if I'm not a 10% person, because I haven't got my emotions in check, because yes, that feels good, but that drawback, that pullback, you're going to be spazzing out. You need to have a trade plan, and you need to stick to it. So if I'm going to put my 1% back on here, if I'm at 1% from $100, then guess what? That's $346 at the end of 125 trades. That's not days, that's trades. That's not days, that's trades. Okay? And so you understand that. But that's still, you can't get that. You don't get that in no savings account. You don't get that. That's not the return. They give you pennies. So I want you to appreciate your growth. And then also, now look, if I do 3%, look at the difference. I'm at $4,000. So But that, hey, you said that can happen in a week, but that goes to my next point. What is your trade plan? If I'm a scalper, am I doing 10 trades a day? Am I doing 5 trades a day? You know, what is it that I'm looking to accomplish? I needed to let it be there. Now, when I started trading, I definitely heard something to the effect of, something to the effect that, if you trade in this session and you've already traded that currency pair, don't trade it again. And if you know me, I'm gonna ask the second set of questions. I want to know why, because I'll be like, okay, tell me why I don't need to do that. Tell me why you say that. They say because the trade will go against you, so the market knows that you're trading it again. Those would be my questions, because it just didn't make sense. But I'm here to tell you from a psychological standpoint, no, that doesn't make sense, that the market does not know. But that's somebody's trade plan. That's somebody's trade plan to keep them in alignment for profit. That's someone's trade plan, to where if I say, you know what, I'm only doing 5 trades in the morning session, I'm only doing 5 trades, then that's what you need to do. You need to do 5 trades and walk away. You need to, okay. And then also we need to understand that we don't revenge trade. We sit back, calm down, and get our mindset right. And we just talked about that 8%. What happens if something happens and I take 2 or 3 trades and they're not profitable? Do I say, okay, you know what? I'm going to give myself 2 hours before I touch the market again. I'm going to wait till tomorrow before I touch the market again. How do you manage your risk management? Thank you. Stop trading. Absolutely. Thank you. So how do you manage your risk management? Do I stop trading at that point? But I know we're having this conversation because I know some of you don't. We're having this conversation because I know you get back in. Oh, the market was going in a buy, and now let me turn around and I'm going to take the sell. You've done that. So that's why we're having this conversation, is to make sure you understand that you want to practice this proper risk management. Risk management has to be on your trade plan. It has to be. So what are you doing to grow your account? What are you doing to manage that risk? What are you doing? And that has to be on there. But I also want to share something else with you as far as document your trades. Now, put the trade journal on there. Definitely already put that trade journal on there. So that's on there as well, but I'm going to take you somewhere else. I want to show you, because I want your trades documented. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come here. Now open this up, and and it's my FX book. Okay. And we're going to do this from, I'm trying to go home so I can walk you through it from the beginning. So now, of course, they also have the economic calendar on here. This is just not one of the ones we pulled up, but once again, it's another source that we can go check our news. The news should be a part of your trade plan. All right. The news should be a part of your trade plan. Checking the news before you trade, that should be a part of your trade plan. But how do you document it? So you see I'm logged in. It says Tasha M. Dyer. So you should actually come on here and create you an account. So get in here and create you an account. Then I want you to go to your portfolio. Now I'm going to show you right here. We're going to add an account together, and I want to show you come to add an account. And so you see I can make it private. So you see basically I just did this. Okay. So I just put this on here. So you can come here and make you an account. And I'm going to click add an account. So when you come to add your account, you're going to add a MetaTrader 4 auto update. Now, what this auto update does is it allows it to be synced to your personal trade account. And we're talking about logging your trades. Okay. Helping you understand what style of trader are you? What are you doing? Where are you in profit? What's your percentage? But it allows it to continue to update. So, I mean, you can do it manually. That's manually. But I'm coming down here. This is the one I know. So we're going to come here, and you're going to put your account information in here. You're going to come through here. You're going to select the broker. You're going to select your broker. You're going to put your server, where the broker will come up. So it's going to ask you, like, for example, if I put it in there, let's put a broker in there. And then it's going to, are you live or in demo? So you can even, when we tell you to monitor your demo, monitor your demo. Monitor it. You need to understand this is part of your trade plan. You need to document, where you are. And now when you get your trade account, that investor password that you always wonder why they give it to you, well, this is where it goes. This is where it goes right here. This is where it goes. So you're going to put that in there. And then now I'm going to come to this new account. I'm going to come back over here. I'm gonna come and I call it a practice account. You get to title it. So of course there are a few other things in there, you know, there are a few other things in there, you know, that's in there that you can definitely kind of add to. You know, there are a few other things in there that you can definitely, you know, kind of go through. And when you're in there and you log it in there, you can definitely what am I trying to say? You can definitely see like everything. So I've been doing it manually, pen and paper too. But I just want you, you know, I taught you guys that a few weeks ago. But just think back to when you go to school, how does a math teacher always make you do your work first? They always make you write out the problem, right? You have to write out the problem. You need to write it out. And then they tell you can do the shortcuts. If you give me the shortcuts, it's wrong. You need to understand it first. So we went from understanding to now we're kicking in 2021, right? We are taking this to the next dimension. So yes. Now, you know what? You are not telling me that you are doing your trade plan on Post-it notes. I mean, your trading journal on Post-it notes. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That is not, I gave you an Excel spreadsheet. So I gave you an Excel spreadsheet. You have to be able to document. That is not a trading journal. So I just want you to know that's not a trading journal. You could have did better just looking at your MetaTrader 4. So I just want you to know. So now what this is going to do for you. So you can kind of see what I did. And of course, I'm not going to put my real stuff on here. You know, we love you, but not like that. So now we're going to put this on here. So, and you see right here where you see the statistics, you're going to see, you know, your gains, your drawdowns. You see what I did because it wouldn't let me open this up without anything. You can see I put $100 deposit in here and it shows you what type of profit you're going to have. You know, it actually, now you see that, don't, you know, well, I'm clicking it, but nothing's there. So all these different tabs and charts will be there to kind of help you understand. So it also, when I did have my real account loaded up here to show you how you profited from one month to the other. So all of this is in here, you know, where you actually, you know, where you can definitely see, you know, what you're trading. If what was the difference? What did I do? You can kind of see your gains, you know, what profits. You definitely can kind of see what happened this week, this year. So it's going to give you your summary of statistics. You know, now we're not doing any live trading on here. I mean, I guess it says it's attached to that, but I've never done that. But I mean, you can definitely see your, you know, what you've done because I set this to update every, I've set this to update every 30 minutes. So everything that I do every 30 minutes, you know, so you can see that there's a deposit on here that, like I say, you know, right, it does. It shows you your pips. So you can see that today, you know, I actually made $100 deposit. And so that's what, you know, this is going to give you. So I thought where you can actually, I want, you know, where you can actually watch all of this. So yeah, it's going to have the info with your statistics. It really shows you. So it's going to give you like your growth. It's going to help you understand what it is. And so now you said, where do I get the spreadsheet? The spreadsheet is on BeYourOwnBankMovement.com under files. It's on BeYourOwnBankMovement.com under files. And that's also where you bought your books. Yes, that's where you get your books from. So go to BeYourOwnBankMovement.com and order your books. So now it even shows how many pips you average. Absolutely, it sure does. So, but it's so all of this that you need is right up in here. And so, I mean, and you guys have seen this website though. So when you say, hold on, I can stop using that. You've seen this website, or maybe you haven't, because in the playlist, okay, in the playlist, let me come back here. In the playlist, when we talk about, you know, trading the BYOB cash out, how many people keep watching the videos? How many people keep watching the videos? Because we talked about this right now. Look at the liquidity that's in the market right now. So this is the current liquidity, the average liquidity for what's in the market right now. And this is the liquidity is 76 liquid right now in the market. Now, the volatility. You want to understand the volatility that's in the market. You know, we want some volatility, but, you know, we can kind of see the volatility that's also happening in the market. So this tool, we've gone over this tool. We've gone over this too, and we've done it, but it's in that playlist, Trading to BYOB Cash Out Strategy. So Trading to BYOB Cash Out. So once you watch those two first 6-minute videos, then you keep watching those videos. So it's in there. It's in there. And how you say you must have missed that one. Yes, it's there. But I just want to highlight it. So that education is part of your trade plan. So now I just want to know who's excited for a trade plan. And I apologize, we didn't really get a chance to go over the strategy. You know, who's excited? I just want to know if you're excited to do a trade plan. You know, just understand that we are doing a trade plan. We're taking it seriously. And we are definitely going to make sure, right? We're going to make sure that we operate in excellence. We are Be Your Own Bank. We are the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. That is who we are. And we are definitely a group of individuals that are just highlighting, yes, big bank. We are definitely a group of individuals that are highlighting from that standpoint of where we understand what we do. So when you do something, you want to be intentional about what you do. And if I'm going to trade, we're going to get on 40 calls, you know, a month. If we're going to do this, then we need to be the big bank. That's what we need to do. We need to operate with intention. We're not trading for a hobby. Let me tell you the difference. Professionals get paid. Amateurs just do it for fun. So you got professional golfers, you have amateur golfers. You've been to play putt golf, right? We want to get paid. So we want to be professionals. We are professional traders. That's who BYOB. BYOB traders are professional traders. We are here for the profit. So you say, where will this recording be? We got to finish the recording first. But it will be on the YouTube channel is the YouTube channel is, let me drop it right here. It is BYOB challenge. So youtube.com. There you have it. That's it right there. And so let me see. I'm looking at the playlist right now. So where's my playlist? Trading to BYOB. Maybe I'm not looking at the playlist. I was trying to pull it up real quick and look at it on my phone, but not able to do it right now. It's not working with me, but it's definitely there because I was going to tell you what video it was, but it is definitely there. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen. So before we transition this call, I definitely want to give the visionary himself opportunity. But remember, Be Your Own Bank. We're professionals. We're professional traders. And so, yes, tonight is BYOB Basics. And so, no, we did not dive into the strategy, but tonight the foundation was set. And so understand, we have time, and, you know, we definitely have time. We'll go over the strategy at 5 a.m. in the morning. So, but we have time to definitely understand, you know, how to take this to the next dimension and what it is that we're looking to do so we can put ourselves and our families on the other side of money. And a trade plan is an important part of having us, a trade plan is an important part of having a solid foundation. And that's definitely something that you want to do, and something that you have to do is have that foundation, because you monitoring this is going to help you understand how to utilize this. So when you're using this right, it'll be reflected in here. And so that's just definitely what I want you all to understand and where I want you to be. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, order your books. Go get you a book. BeYourOwnBankMovement.com. So Mr. Rogers.
Thank you so much, Ms. Dyer, for amazing insight. And folks, if you're excited about what you've been able to receive tonight, I need you to drop an 888 in the chat. If you are excited about, you know, our commitment to you and your family. We made a decision to economically empower each and every one of you. So I got a couple of questions for you. With you having the information that you had this evening, do you think or believe that this information is valuable? If you believe this information tonight, just tonight alone, is valuable, I need you to drop a 555 in the chat. I need you to drop a 555 in the chat. So that's why we're so adamant about ensuring that you get an opportunity to expose your friend, neighbors, and relatives to the information. I also want to bring to your attention, um, why do we take the time to make sure that you understand market structure, understand movement, and things of that nature? Well, we want to make sure that you completely understand. You know, there is a level of things that are happening in the marketplace. Sometimes you get proposition about AI, artificial intelligence, and things of that nature. However, I want you to understand those things are necessary and are needed. But anytime when it comes to the industry and you're having the opportunity to receive things of that nature, the artificial intelligence is only as good as the individual who understands the market from a programming standpoint. So just because someone is giving you or trying to share with you automated trading systems, once again, it's only as valuable as the person who understands market structure, market movement, and with all of the three elements that coincide with the market itself, whether it's your technical analysis, your sentimental, or your fundamental analysis. So always be mindful of that. That's why we are adamant to ensure that you become the signal. So I want to just bring that to the forefront, to your mindset, to your attention tonight, to realize that what we're sharing with you, this is why we will impact 1 million families and educate them because of information that you're receiving tonight. And if you feel like the value that you receive tonight alone, as we get ready to transition into a talk with the finance doctor, I need you to put a 888 in the chat if you feel that just that little glimpse of the trading plan and how to connect it so you can be as accurate as possible. Why am I saying that to you? Is because this is the holiday season. So many people feel like they have to negotiate getting started and wait till after the holiday season. And you realize and understand that you want to make it your business to challenge individuals. Yes, let's not have to negotiate when we can get started putting our family on the other side of money, and make sure that this time next year, that's no longer a part of the conversation because of the skill set that you're going to give them by ensuring that they enroll in the academy. So I want you to be mindful that the value is here, and that should be your thought process, and why this is the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, uh, prayerfully that you have been able to absorb this amazing information tonight.